Imagine holding a small, silver-colored coin in your hand. A coin most people have ignored, spent, or forgotten, a coin that once promised to change how Americans use money forever today. On Coins Us, we are diving deep into the $1 1980 coin, a story filled with ambition, controversy, political pressure, minting experiments, public rejection, rare varieties' hidden value, and a legacy that still echoes through modern U.S. coinage. Stay with me because by the end of this journey, you will never look at this dollar coin the same way again. This is not just a coin history, this is a story of power decisions, mistakes, and opportunity, and it all begins at the end of the 1970s, when America was struggling with inflation, rising costs, and a desperate need to modernize its currency. The United States government wanted a smaller, more practical dollar coin to replace the large Eisenhower dollar, which was bulky, heavy, and unpopular. For daily use, lawmakers believed a new, smaller dollar would save billions by replacing paper dollar bills that wore out quickly. And so the Susan B. Anthony dollar was born, named after one of the most important women in American history, a civil rights leader, a women's rights icon, and a symbol of equality. This was the first circulating U.S. coin to feature a real woman, and expectations were massive when the 1981 dollar coin was struck. It carried the weight of that vision. The obverse, designed by Frank Gasparro, shows Susan B. Anthony with a determined expression surrounded by the words liberty and the date, 1980. While the reverse carries an eagle landing on the moon, an image borrowed from the Apollo 11 mission symbolizing American achievement and progress. Now let us slow down and truly understand what makes the 1980 $1 coin special. Because this year sits at a turning point, the initial 1979 release had already faced strong public backlash. People confused it with a quarter vending machines, rejected it, and Americans simply did not like it by 1980. The mint was under pressure to fix the problem. Yet production continued, resulting in millions of coins struck at three mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint produced circulation strikes without a mint mark. The Denver Mint added the small d, while San Francisco focused primarily on proof versions marked with an S. But here is where collectors need to pay attention. Not all 1980 dollar coins are equal. Some are common and worth face value, while others can be worth hundreds or even thousands, depending on condition, strike quality, and rare varieties. High-grade uncirculated examples, especially those graded MS66, MS67, or higher, can command strong premiums because the coins were poorly struck with weak details, making top. Condition survivors, extremely scarce proof coins from San Francisco, offer another layer of interest with deep mirrored fields, sharp details, and collector appeal. But even more fascinating are the subtle die varieties and minting characteristics that only serious collectors notice, such as strike weakness on the hair above the ear, flatness on the eagle, and rim quality issues. These details tell the real story of the 1980 dollar a coin rushed into production without full public acceptance. Now let us talk about why the 1980 $1 coin ultimately failed in circulation. Despite all the effort, despite the historic choice of Susan B. Anthony, and despite the economic logic, Americans simply refused to embrace it. The size, color, and weight were too similar to the quarter and vending machine. Technology was not fully compatible. The Federal Reserve ended up with massive stockpiles of unused coins, and by 1981, production slowed dramatically before being halted altogether for circulation purposes. This makes the 1980 issue one of the last mass-produced years of a short-lived experiment. Yet failure in circulation does not mean failure in history, because today this coin represents a crucial lesson in U.S. monetary policy and coin design. It paved the way for future dollar coins like the Sacagawea and Presidential series, which learned from its mistakes using golden-colored distinct edges and better public education. From a collector perspective, the 1980 $1 coin is a sleeper, a coin many overlook, but one that rewards knowledge, patience, and condition. Based collecting rolls searched decades later still reveal gems and proofs remain popular among type collectors. And as interest in modern U.S. coins grows, the historical importance of the Susan B. Anthony dollar continues to rise. So as we continue this deep dive on coins, us remember this. The 1981 dollar coin is more than metal. It is a snapshot of American ambition, a tribute to a powerful woman, a lesson in design and economics, and a quiet opportunity waiting in collections, pockets, and forgotten drawers. And this is only the beginning, because in the next part, we will break down exact values, rare errors, how to spot high-grade examples, and why some 1980 dollars sell for prices that shock even experienced collectors. So stay tuned, stay curious, and keep collecting with coins. Yes. Now let us go even deeper into the heart of the 1980 $1 coin, because this story does not end with public rejection. It actually becomes more interesting once the coins leave circulation and enter the hands of collectors, investors, and historians. When you study the 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar closely, you begin to see the struggle of the U.S. Mint itself, a mint caught between tradition, innovation, and political pressure. The alloy chosen copper-nickel clad over a pure copper. Core was the same used on quarters and dimes, a decision that saved money but ultimately confused the public. This single choice may have sealed the fate of the coin before it ever had a fair chance. And yet, from a technical standpoint, the minting process in 1980 reveals critical insights. The presses were often not adjusted properly, resulting in weak strikes, especially on the central hair details of Susan B. Anthony and the talons of the eagle on the reverse collectors today. Actively search for coins with full strikes, sharp rims, and strong lettering, because these are far scarcer than the mintage numbers suggest, and this is where the real collector value begins to form. Condition rarity is everything for this coin. Millions were made, but very few survived in top condition because banks stored them in bags where they banged against each other, causing contact marks, bag marks.